Okay, I think we're getting ready. Om Ajnana-Timirandhasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजाः पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। That very exciting moment is here when Hanumanji is seen for the first time by Ravana. It's a very momentous occasion. Hanumanji is the only person who has met all the main characters of Ramayana. Of course, he's yet to meet some of the others, but pretty much the main ones. Of course, he met Rama and Lakshmana. He was already with Sugriva. He met Sita Devi. He's right now in Ravana's chamber. So Ravana is getting the opportunity in the being in the association of a pure devotee. He will meet Vibhishana, although not directly, at least in the Valmiki Ramayana. In the Ramcharitamanas, actually Hanuman visits Vibhishana's home and they have a discussion on the holy name of Sri Ramachandra. But he knows who Vibhishana is. He hears Vibhishana in the court as Vibhishana will be advising Ravana. He will come back and meet Bharata and Shatrughna, of course. And to everyone, he has narrated, of course, to Ramachandra and Lakshmana, he did what we call stuti. He actually offered the greatest of verses and prayers. He recognized he recognized Rama and Lakshmana as the supreme personalities and spoke in such a way that Ramachandra says, oh, he's fully well versed with all the three Vedas. But with Sita Devi, with the Vanaras, with Sampati, with Swayam Prabha, with Ravana as well, he will narrate the Ramayana. Because that's what Hanumanji does. In whatever situation he is in, he narrates the Ramayana. He sings the glory of Sri Ramachandra. So right now, the scene is Hanuman has been bound by all these ropes, which none of them can bind him, including the Brahmastra. But he obeyed, he volunteered to become bound by the Brahmastra with the idea that he can be taken into the presence of Ravana. And now, as he's been bound by ropes and being punched and hit by sticks and uh, abused as the Rakshasas were carrying him into this court of Ravana, and Ravana is sitting on his high throne, all his great ministers, flanked by Prahasta and others. Hanuman gets to see Ravana, or Ravana gets to see Hanuman, because the more fortunate one is Ravana. And I'm going to read from chapter 49. Today I'm reading from ValmikiRamayana.net because for some reason the Gita Press website has some issues, it looks like. So here in this website, although the Ramayana is there and they've done fantastic service to humanity, the way they've broken up the words, the meanings uh, sometimes get distorted. Of who am I to say? But as you read, you will see the 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 translations sometimes change. It's a little convoluted, or even the way they break up the words is confusing. So generally, I don't recommend this website, but it's available. It's easy. It's popular. So, but that's where I'm going to read from today. I don't read from my version of the Gita Press book is because the print is small. I'd have to wear glasses, and every time I have to look up, it causes awkwardness. But I read from there when I'm reading for myself. But anyway, here goes chapter 49 of Sundarakam. ततः स कर्मणा तस्या विस्मितो भीमविक्रमः हनुमान् रोषतां राक्षसोऽधिप अवैक्षतः. Hanuman, who's called Bhima Vikrama, which means he can perform Herculean tasks. Lord Vamana is called Trivikrama because by 3 steps he captured the entire universe. Here, Hanuman is referred to as Bhima Vikrama because he can perform tasks that are unimaginable. He already, Vikrama, in one sense, he has taken a step. That means he sprung from Mount Mahendra and crossed 100 yojanas. He has completely decimated Ravana's Ashokavana. And Tataha sa karmana tasya vismitaha. He became very angry because the way he was being dragged into Ravana's court, Tamra Akshaha, his eyes became coppery red. Rakshasa Adhipa Avaikshataha. Now, Avaikshata, Ava is used for the reference of looking from below. So Ravana is sitting high up on a throne. Avaikshata literally is he looks up at Ravana. Another is Avaikshata is looking down upon Ravana for the kind of personality he is. Or Avaikshata can be seen, he looked at him condescendingly. Both meanings are correct. So by Valmiki's writing, we are meant to visualize what it looks like, what the scenario is. Bhrajamanam maha arhena kanchanena virajataha mukta jajala avratena atha mukutena mahadyutim. This is what Hanuman saw. Bhrajamanam. Bhrajamanam, shining, effulgent. Maha Maharhanena. Maharnena Kanchanena Virajata. Ravana is shining or effulgent because of the jewelry that he's wearing. Kanchanena of gold or molten gold like and very precious. Maharhena. Maharhena. Very precious gem-studded jewelry that he's wearing. And Mukta Jala Avartena. His crown, which is made of gold, has all precious gems studded in it, rubies, emeralds, sapphires, corals, cat's eye, etc. And the entire crown has been enmeshed in strings of pearls. Mukta Jala Avritena. Atha Mukutena Mahadyutin. And the whole crown that he's wearing is shining. So his entire body, which is blackish, is decorated with expensive precious jewels studded in gold and covered by strings of pearls. Vajra Samyoga Samyukte Maharha Manivigrahai Haimai Abharanai Chitrai Manasa Eva Prakalpitai. Manasa Eva Prakalpitai. So this means anything that can be imagined was there with Ravana. Any design, any shape, any complex designs that jewelry can be made into. Sometimes one can imagine it, but it is impossible when it comes to practically putting that jewelry together. But Ravana was bedecked with such jewelry that anything the mind could conceive, which means anything he conceived, he was wearing. Manasa iva prakalpite. And chitre, very beautiful. Hemai abharanai chitre. Very beautiful, exquisite jewelry. And constantly says Maharha, Maharha. Maharha Kshauma Samvitam Rakta Chandan Rushitam Sonuliptam Vichitrabhihi Vividabhihi Cha Bhaktibhihi. He was wearing expensive silk cloth. Kshauma. Kshauma, very expensive, high quality silk. Now, I don't know what high quality silk looks like, but this must be the best. Samvitam cloth. Because when Hanumanji first saw Sita Devi, how was she introduced? Tato Malina Samvitam. She was wearing a cloth that was full of dust, Malina. Tato Malina Samvitam. Here, Maharha Kshauma Samvitam. Rakta Chandana Roshitam. And his entire body was smeared with reddish sandalwood paste. It is reddish because saffron is mixed in it. Sandalwood by nature has a slightly yellowish, or what do you say, cream beigeish color. But when you mix saffron in it and grind it, it has this reddish orangish color. His entire body was smeared with fragrant sandalwood paste. Swanuliptam, Swa Anuliptam Vichitrabihi Vividhani cha Bhaktibihi. Bhaktibihi here is designs. So on his body, this smear is not just some ugly looking paste. Beautiful designs were made with this sandalwood paste. When we see deities in Vrindavan or Jaipur, you see Sri Radha Govinda Dev, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Gopinath, and these deities on their cheeks, foreheads, hands, and on their bodies, especially Krishna's body, beautiful designs of colors and lovely uh, patterns are put as because Krishna is Dhira Lalita, very excellently dressed, fashionista, fashionable. Ravana was also like that. And then Ravana, who's sitting there, looked like a massive mountain with his 10 heads. Vipulaihi darshaniyai cha raksha akshaihi bhima darshanaihi. So when someone looked at Ravana, this is Valmiki's description through the eyes of Hanumanji, he looked like a massive mountain, 10 heads. And when someone of that size and that prowess and that kind of richness is sitting there, Bhima Darshana, one can become like, wow, fearful. Deepta Tikshanaha Mahadamstray Pralamba Dashanas Pralamba Mahadamstray. He had four long, sharp teeth. Deepta Tikshana and shining. Like lamps shining. Teeth were sharp, big or long and shining. Shirobi Dashabhi Viram Brajamanam Mahojasam. Whole presence, everything was around him, shining and effulgent just by the way Ravana was dressed, and he contained himself. Nana Vyala Samakirna Shikharai Iva Mandaram. So he looked like the peak of the Mandara mountain. Big, mighty, massive, strong, imposing, fear-inducing. And Ravana on his chest was wearing a pearl necklace. Neelanjana Chaya Prakhyam Harena Urasi Rajata. Urasi Rajata. On his chest, Harena, a necklace was shining. Because Ravana is also Amsha, or anyway, we'll get to the philosophy part of it in a moment. Purna Chandra Bhavaktrena Sabalakam Iva Ambudam. Sabala. So this is where the words get all. Anyway, Purna Chandra Bhavaktrena. His face was shining like the full moon, but his body was darkish like a cloud. So it seemed like this pearl necklace was shining on his blackish body like the moon shines in a cloudy sky. And then, as you're looking down, he has these 20 arms. Bahubhihi Baddha Keyuraihi. Keyura. He's wearing armlets. Chandana Uttama Roshite. And his arms are all decorated and smeared with very beautiful sandalwood. Bhrajamanam Angadaihi Pinei Pancha Shirshai Iva Uragaihi. Angada. Angadas are like bracelets. Angada means bracelet. Any decor or any jewelry for the arm is called Angada. Here, since he said Keura, Angada here means bracelets. And his bracelets, his Keuras, what he wears on his arm, they were shining. Bhrajamanam. Every verse has the word Bhrajamanam. Bhrajamanam. Pinaihi means strong, uh, strong and long. Pancha Shirshai Iva Uragai. So his hands that were extended down with his five nice, long, shapely, well manicured fingers, all studded with rings that had all these jewels in them, looked like his arm, each arm looked like a five-hooded serpent. Shining, glistening, that's the right word, glistening, long, shapely arms with 5 fingers, each studded with gems, looked like a five-hooded serpent. Uragaha. The word uraga is snake. Monkeys are called plavanga because they swing and jump and go. Uh, Uraga, uru is their chest in one sense, and they move by sliding, so they're called uraga. Mahati स्फाटिके चित्रे रत्न संयोग संस्कृते उत्तम आस्तरण आस्तीर्णे उपविष्टम varasane. Now his throne was made of crystal. Mahati Sphatike. Sphatika is crystal. Mahati Sphatike, it was a massive crystal throne. And Chitre Ratna Samyoga Samskrute. Samskrute, very finely carved. And this crystal throne was studded with diamonds, sapphires, rubies, pearls. I mean, I don't even know how to visualize such beautiful thrones, but it's made of crystal. And on all sides, there were young, very beautiful, well endowed women whisking chamaras, so that when he sits like the king, all sorts of comforts are offered to him. Vala Vyajana Hastibihi Arat Sam Upasevitam. Upasevitam, he was being served. And around him, he was sitting proudly with all these ministers around him. Who were they? Durdharena, Prahastena, Mahaparshvena, Mahaparshvena, Rakshasa, Mantribihi, Mantra Tattva Vigyehi, Nikumbhena cha Mantrina. So, Nikumbha, Durdhara, Prahasta, Mahaparshva. उपविष्टां रक्षोभिः चतुर्भिः बलदर्पितैः कृत्स्नैः पर्वितं लोकं चतुर्भिः इव सागरैः. These great ministers, Durdhara, Prahasta, Mahaparshva, and Nikumba, they were surrounding him, and it looked like the entire earth globe that is surrounded by the 4 oceans. Oceans indicate that you cannot traverse easily and approach Ravana, who's the land mass that is surrounded by oceans. However big a boat it is, if you run out of fuel, you don't have the ability to manage the waves, a boat can sink. So very, very mighty, mighty, not just mighty and strong and foolish, not like that. Strong, but also very intelligent. Tattva Gyehi. So they were able to give him good advice. They're good strategists. They're very, very good at thinking, analyzing. They very critically assess situations. They know when to apply samadana danda bheda. So they're very, very well educated. They're sharp, they're intelligent, wise, and they will give good advice to him. He looked just like Indra, who is surrounded by great celestial beings, also giving him advice and waiting upon him. Apashyat Rakshasah Patim Hanuman Atitejasah Vishthim Meru Shikhare Satoyam Iva Toyadam. Toyadam means a cloud. Hanuman saw Ravana Ati Tejasam, who not only had Tejasa, but Ati Tejasa, his splendor, his effulgence was way too much, excessive. He was sitting on the throne and it looked like Mount Meru, or looked like a rainy cloud on the top of Mount Meru. Very, very beautiful description. Hanuman very Vismaya param gatva rakshaso adhipa avekshata. Again, he uses the same phrase. Vismaya. He was completely struck with wonder. Wow. That's what Hanuman said. Wow. Rakshaso adhipa avekshata. Now, avekshata means looking up, as we said, or looking from a lower vantage, but he's also looking condescendingly. The condescension is coming right now. The Hanuman, who was so bewildered or struck by wonder, uh, started to think. Manasa chintayamasa tasya mohita. Tejasa tasya mohita. He was completely bewildered by, no, bewildered not means he lost his interest. Bewildered like, wow, what opulence. Wow, what a palace, what a throne, what jewelry. Wow, this guy. And Hanuman starts thinking in his mind, oh, Rupam. Oh, what fantastic form he has. Muscular, big, well built. Oh, Dhairyam. What kind of courage. And, he's not like a king who's sitting there who's meek and looks feeble. Dhairyam. His chest is fully inflated like this. He's sitting fearlessly. Aho Sattva, what presence. Aho Dyuti, what a effulgence around him. He's glowing. Aho Rakshasa Rajasya Sarva Lakshana Yuktata. Oh, he's endowed with wonderful qualities, wonderful features, characteristics. Like here, qualities is not Vaishnav qualities. All these wonderful marks of being a valiant king, because his body has different marks of swords, uh, arrows that have been pierced when he fought with all the celestial beings or anyone in the universe. So it's all these are like marks that show that he's a great warrior. And he says, everything is wonderful in Ravana. Aho Rupam, Aho Dhairyam, Aho Sattvam, Aho Dyuti, Aho Rakshasa, Sarva Lakshana Yuktata. But Yadi Adharmo na Balavan Syat, Ayam Rakshasishwaraha, Syat Ayam Suralokasya Shakrasya Apirakshita. Just the flaw in him is adharma. If his adharma was not so strong, adharmo na balavan syat, then this king of the Rakshasas, he could have protected the entire universe along with Indra. Some acharyas read it as lokasya shakrasya apirakshita. He can even protect Indra. Or another way that he would be always protected by Indra. Asya krura nrushamschaischa कर्मभिर लोक कुकुत्सिते सर्वे बिभ्यति खल्व खलु अस्माल्लोकाः सामरदानवाः अस्माल्लोकाः स अमरदानवाः अयं ह्युतस्ते क्रुद्रः कर्तुं कर्तुमेकारनवं जगत्. This guy, by asya krura, by his cruel behavior, Anrusham, by his being very crafty and deceptive, violent, uh, he has become despised by the entire world. They hate him. Sarvaloka. Sa Amara Danava, both the other demons and the celestial beings. Amara are all the celestial beings, heavenly beings, and Danavas are all the other subterranean beings. They remain frightened. They don't like him, they despise him. Ayam hi utsahe kartum jagat ekaranavam. He is the one fellow, if you make him angry, he can completely mix up the entire world and turn it into one large ocean. That means he can drown anything. He has that strength. Iti chintam bahuvidham akaron matiman kapihi. Drashtva rakshasa rajasya prabhavam amita ojasa. Amita ojasa. The prowess that he has, amita, has no limit. Has nothing, there's no reducing of it. It is just mighty presence. Yet Hanuman is thinking, oh, he has everything. Just doesn't have the right qualities. He's not situated in dharma. So let's look at it a little philosophically for a moment. Ravana, although originally cursed by the Kumaras, Jaya and Vijaya, came down to being Ravana and Kumbhakarna. Their mentality is demonic, but their body, especially Ravana's body, its form, color, and presence, and splendor, and effulgence, and all of that is very similar to Lord Narayana's, because he has this sarupya, very similar looking. And anyone in Ravana's presence is struck by his beauty. But Hanumanji, who is in Ravana's palace, standing in front of him, while he appreciates what all Ravana has collected, he pities Ravana. Oh, like what is this? He has all these great things, but no dharma. In fact, adharmic. Yadhi adharma na balavan syat. If adharma was not his strength, he could have achieved great things. So pure devotees are not, while they may wonder all the things that a person has gathered by their intelligence and strength and abilities and all of that, and everything is external, is material. Someday it will go away, for sure. That's the nature of matter. But what keeps a person really alive and moving upwards towards the Vaikuntha realm is dharma. Here, the dharma is used as a all-encompassing word. We understand that as carrying bhakti for the Lord, because that is the dharma of the living being. The nature of sugar is sweetness. The nature of chili pepper is heat. The nature of water is liquidity. The nature of fire is heat and light. The nature of Atma is bhakti or seva. So the opposite of seva, opposite of bhakti, is bhukti. So a person who simply relies on all the things that they have gathered by their material strength is called a bhukti shastri, not bhakti shastri. I mean, I can even joke, if you don't mind, that if we study bhakti shastras the 4 books Prabhupada suggested, Ishopanishad, Nectar of Devotion, Bhagavad Gita, and Nectar of Instruction, simply for getting good grades, then the certificate is for Bhukti Shastri. It's an enjoyment, it's a relish. Oh, I got some wonderful grades. But Bhakti Shastri is one we try and apply and live a life according to these Shastras. So Ravana, although very richly endowed, cannot impress Hanuman because the pure devotee is not looking at that. Aho. Yeah, he has all these great abilities. He has great things that he has collected and gathered, and he looks just yadi adharmo no balavan syat. But if his adharma was not that strong, or the opposite is when his dharma becomes strong. So the spiritual master, when he looks at the mind, which is Ravana, one may wonder, oh, such capability, such a capable person, either misusing or wrongly using or misguided in how they apply their mind, how they apply their desires, their ability to think and visualize and create and strategize is just needs to be oriented in such a way that it is they apply themselves in the service of the Supreme Lord. The mind, when turned away from the Supreme Lord, behaves like a Ravana. It all wants to collect, enjoy for oneself. And the mind that is turned towards the Supreme Lord, so turned away is called Bahirmukha, turned towards is called Antarmukha. When turned inward, what does it need? It wants the wealth of service. Otherwise, it's the wealth of exploitation. The danger is the wealth of exploitation moves with a different curve. The curve is it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, and then it goes away. But the curve of service or bhakti is that it only grows. Anandam buddhivardhanam. So there are 2 oceans. The ocean of salt, Lavaranava, which is you can't drink that water. It can't quench the thirst. It has high waves in it, and it will drown a person. Ananda Ambudhi, Ananda Ambudhi. The waters are full of bliss. Vardhanam. The waves are such that they carry the living entity into greater heights and movements in their relationship with the Supreme Lord. And this mind needs to be transformed, to be turned towards the Lord. And these 4 ministers that are there are all advising the mind in one way, if you call it advisors, to keep the attention away from the Supreme Lord. Durdara, Mahaparshva. What was the other person's name? There it is. Prahasta. Prahasta, we discussed last time. Hasta is hands. Prahasta, very big and skillful hands. So skillful hands, means he is so expert. This is what we sometimes use the term karmi, materialist. The mind engages the person in becoming a materialist. Rishabh uses the word karmatmakam. Karma atmakam is constantly working simply for collecting wealth, degrees, appreciation, whatever, the range of things that are all material for the gratification of oneself. Without service attitude, this collecting has no value, has no meaning. But by the Supreme Lord's grace, if one gets something, then it is not of no value. It has value when it is used back in service. Dhruva Maharaj, when he saw the Supreme Lord Prishni Garbha, he said, I don't want anything. Varam nayache. I don't want any desire. Though I came with desires, I performed this great austerity with desire to get a kingdom, a very great kingdom. Swami, kritarthosmi. I am so satisfied. Krita artha. All my desires have been satisfied. Kritarthosmi. Varam nayache. I don't want any more desires. I don't want any more blessings or benedictions from him. Yet he was made the king of that place. Prahlad Maharaj says, oh, Narasimhadev, I don't want. Please don't even ask me. In fact, you're playing with me. You're tricking me by enticing me. Oh, what do you want? Ask for anything, Prahlada. I'm so impressed with you. Whatever you want, I'll give you. No, no, no. Don't ask. I come from a family of bad blood. The bad blood is we are materialists. Look at my father, the supreme materialist. And when you tempt me like that, I may even say, so I don't want. I just want to be your servant. Narasimhadev says, yes, he who is sitting on Hiranyakashipu's throne gets up and offers that throne for Prahlad Maharaj to rule. And Prahlad Maharaj ruled. He ruled as a servant of Narasimhadev. That's okay. If Narasimhadev makes Prahlad the ruler, Prahlad Maharaj was not going to get bewildered by that, or that pride won't hit his head. He won't get intoxicated by it. So the mind, this Prahasta, Nikumba, Dhurdara, Mahaparshva, they're all these extensions of the mind to bring about this intoxication of pride. Pride, because he's sitting on this throne. The entire celestial beings in the entire universe are afraid of him. That's his pride. I'm greater than Indra. I'm greater than anybody else. You want evidence for it? Look at all the sword, arrow, spear marks on me. And I decorate my body with this saffron and perfumes and wearing these jewelry because I am the greatest enjoyer. Yet when it's seen from the eyes of Hanumanji, oh, what's the point? What's the point of all of this? If there isn't bhakti, yadi adharmena. One more time, I'll read that verse because I like this verse very much. These two verses. So visualize it if you want. Aho rupam, aho dhairyam, aho sattvam, aho dyutihi, aho rakshasa rajasya sarva lakshana yuktata. Yadhi adharmo na balavan syat ayam rakshasheshwaraha syat ayam suralokasya shakrasya api rakshita. Let's see if there are any comments, reflections. Ideally, this chapter must be read with the next chapter, but I don't have time today, so we'll have to do it another time, mostly next week. Next week's 50, when Ravana will question Hanumanji. But let's see, any questions, comments? I have a request. When you join the call, please on Zoom, rename yourself. There you go. Thank you, Parama Karuna Prabhu. Go ahead. Anyone? Comments, questions, thoughts?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
My humble obeisances. A comment, and I have two questions that are not directly related to today's class, but in the same context. I was just observing that how when here we are describing Hanumanji first time seeing Ravana in like his complete opulence. And yet, when he meets Sri Ramachandra, Lakshmana, and Sri Sita Devi, the lordships, he meets them when like Sita Devi is wearing this mullen clothes, and Sri Rama is like without any ornaments. He's like roaming in the forest. And yet, like, that's the most beautiful form that he can see of their lordships, like, because we have heard that the jewels and everything, they actually are to cover the lordship's beauty. So it's like he sees them in its complete contrast, but yet like the most beautiful form that he can see of them.
Beautiful.
So
Ramachandra and Lakshmana are wearing jata. The hair has to be kept stiff by applying the what's it called, sap from a banyan tree. They have mustache, beard. Ramachandra is darkish in color, and then he has a beard. And yet Hanuman says he only glorifies their qualities. Here, Hanuman's all that Ravana is showing is external stuff. His strength, all of that is external. Two different completely. This morning I was reciting that verse, Tato Malina Samvitam, Rakshasi bhi Samavritam, Upavasa Krisham Deenam. All of this is how Sita Devi is. Upavasa Krisham. She's all emaciated because she's been fasting. She's surrounded by Rakshasis. Yet Hanuman says, Shukla Paksha Chandra Rekham Iva Amala. Yet she's pure, like first the first 2 days of Shukla Paksha. That's when after Amavasya, the little crescent moon shows up in the sky. That's pure and clean. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, you were going to ask something.
yes, thank you for adding that. Two questions, Prabhu. One is, didn't like Ravana, I'm assuming that he must have sent spies after he kidnapped Mother Sita, and he was already aware of like their Sri Ramchandra's friendship with Sugriva, and he like sending off Vanaras to look for Sita Devi. So is Hanuman's presence like news for Ravana, or was he expected or something?
I may have to refer, but I don't remember that Ravana already knows the news of Vali. Maybe he does. I can't remember right now. But he has never met Hanuman. He doesn't know anything about Hanumanji. And he's also completely shocked. Will, at least the way he was instructing Krita Lakshana, can you pause, mute yourself? The way he was instructing Indrajit, it indicates he has never met Hanumanji or doesn't know about him so much.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. And I think it'll come up in like next class or two, is like the conversation between Hanuman and Ravana. So they are conversing directly. I was remembering when Hanumanji meets Ramchandra and Lakshmana for the first time, he is also acting there as a messenger of Sugriva in one sense, messenger and minister. And yet when he stops speaking, Sri Ramchandra turns to Lakshmana out of etiquette, and then Lakshmana speaks to Hanuman. So here he is in the assembly, but he will be directly conversing with Ravana. So I'm just a little confused about the etiquette part.
Oh yeah, there we'll wait next time and we'll enjoy that next week. Ravana speaks to Prahasta, says, ask him all these questions. And Hanuman turns and speaks directly to Ravana. No etiquette here, because he's not come in a friendly way. He's come as a spy, and he intentionally caused havoc because he wants to meet Ravana, and more importantly, he's going to instruct Ravana. So he's not going to speak to Prahasta. It's a way that a messenger conveys a warning directly to Ravana, saying, I have the guts that I can speak to you and warn you directly, so you know what else is awaiting for you. It's very strategic the way he has done it.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Krishna.
Okay, anyone else? Krita Lakshana.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice class. I was appreciating the discussion on how Ravana had all good qualities, but still the purpose was lacking. And the verse that was coming to my mind, since you quoted Prahlad Maharaj, there also the discussion was, if one has all good qualities but no bhakti, it's like decorations on a dead body. That was very nice.
That verse is not so much of a dead body. There are two such verses. One is as soon as Lord Brahma nudges Prahlad Maharaj says, look at all these personalities. They have not been able to please Lord Narasimhadev. Who am I? And then he says, none of these things, Tejasa, Ojasa, this quality, that quality, Natoshum Arhati. None of them can please the Supreme Lord. So that's one. Second, as he's glorifying Narasimhadev, he says, Viprat Dvishat Gunayutat Aravinda Nabha Padaravinda Vimukham Shvapacho Varishtam. He says, better than a Brahmana who has all the 12 qualities, if he is Vimukha, that means he has turned away from the Supreme Lord, better than him is a dog eater. Swapacham Varishtam is even better than that Brahmana is a dog eater because he will purify his entire family by being a bhakta. The dead body decoration is a verse from Hari Bhakti Vilas that goes something like Bhagavat Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastram Japam Tapam Apranasya Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. Mandanam means decoration. Apranasya Dehasya, of a body that has no life, a dead body. Lokaranjanam, and people all dance and get all excited about decorating a dead body. Nice reference. Here, the only thing is Ravana doesn't have qualities per se. The way we use the word quality, he has collectibles. He has collected a whole bunch of materialistic things. And all of his power, all of this comes from such materialism. There is one characteristic about materialism, and always, that a materialist is afraid. But they put out this energy of fearlessness. Nothing can happen. But deep down, they're afraid. And it is that fear that makes them all protect themselves in different ways. We will see how Ravana is afraid. The very fact that he did not take Sita Devi or approach Ramachandra, but secretively caused a decoy and then kidnapped Sita Devi. It shows that there is fear in him. So fear says, the corollary of it. As soon as any living entity, any one of us experiences fear, anxiety, it's the first indication that our attention is not on the Lord. Bhayam Dvitiya Abhivinesha. Abhivinesha, the great attraction or taste for. Abhivinesha tasyat.
Thank you, Prabhuji. The
Thank you.
second point I wanted to mention was the picture that was being painted was, at least that's how I saw. Ravana had a lot of opulence.
Yes.
Yes, he had everything that one could wish for. Beautiful woman, lot of wealth. Yet he was not satisfied. Somehow there was, I don't know if that's the right word, but
Yeah.
there was some void.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole message of the Ramayana. That one who is devoid of that relationship with the Lord, doesn't matter what they have, they don't have anything. And one who has that relationship has everything. Compare it to that old lady Shabari. She had nothing. And look at how her bhakti to her guru was so strong that the Supreme Lord came searching for her, even if she has no role to play in the grand mission, just to see her and give her his darshan. Both of them came. You're right. Matter cannot satisfy the soul.
Thank you.
Anything else? We have about a minute and a half, which is okay. I can end early. I have a long day. Okay, nothing else? Thank you very much. May we all be blessed by Hanumanji. Just the way Hanuman is scanning Ravana. May the loving, merciful glance of Sri Guru scan us and identify where we are distracted, inattentive, digressed. And by their mercy, it's called a Kataksha, Kripa Kataksha. They may put us back on track such that we may aspire for the loving service of Shri Sitaram, Lakshman and Hanumanji. Shri Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanumanji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.